Hey y'all, welcome in or welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a new video. Today is the first video I'm making in June. So happy Pride, y'all. Happy Pride to everybody who celebrates. So I was originally working on a video where I was going to be checking in with some of the content creators that I have featured over the last year to kind of do an update. Where are they now? Are things better? Are things the same? Are things worse? So this was supposed to be like a one video, kind of 1 year later. There was one creator in there who I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk about, Brooke the Shopaholic, because I made a video on her last year. And after I made my video, I saw a few others and I kind of felt like she got dragged through the mud. And I kind of feel like people were somewhat unkind to her. And I do think that creators need to be called out for their overconsumption or other problematic behaviors, but people were speculating that she had a mental illness, and it just kind of felt a lot. So I didn't know that I wanted to kind of go back to that, but I checked in on her to just kind of assess the situation, and I found some what I believe to be positive changes, and I really think that that is worth talking about. So I'm going to first talk a little bit about who this creator is and do a little bit of a backstory. If you did watch my previous video on her, or it's been a while, and then we'll get into how things are different, because there are also some updates. So Brooke the Shopaholic is one of the most polarizing people I've talked about on my channel, which I wouldn't have suspected when I made the video, or I didn't suspect when I made the video, but I think people have a lot of differing beliefs about things like shopping addiction and how one should talk about it. She has 2.7 million followers on TikTok. That's her biggest platform. I made a video on her last summer because she was calling herself a recovering shopping addict. She had that displayed prominently in her bio. And she also went on a no-buy last summer. And that no-buy is what I believe led her to calling herself like in recovery, or your favorite recovering shopping addict, I think was one of her phrases that she used. And she tapped out on her no-buy midway through the month, which is not a problem, by the way. But it was how she did it that rubbed me and a lot of people the wrong way, and I think led to a lot of people speculating, like, is she serious? Is this clickbait? And it was that experience that led to a lot of people covering her, in my opinion. But before that, people had been covering her for years because she was a shopping account. She called herself a shopping account. She still, like, at the time was calling herself, like last year, she was calling herself a shopping account. In my opinion, you can't see yourself as a shopping account and then also see yourself in recovery. Like, you can no longer be a shopping account in order to be in recovery, in my opinion. It did kind of seem like she still had a desire to be a shopping account. She was regularly in the buy and declutter cycle and shopping in huge quantities that led a lot of people to cover her, since 2020. But I think more like 2021 and 23. So in July, she went on a no-buy and she broke it around day like 16, 17. And somebody breaking their no-buy is not indicative of somebody trying to bamboozle their audience or try to pull one over on them. I think it's more of a sign of somebody who is struggling, and perhaps more of a sign that maybe the problem is bigger than she realized, or when people like go on a no-buy and they think that they could do 30 days and they don't, I think that can be an eye-opening experience. It's not indicative of somebody like not caring enough. I don't personally adhere to the idea that sticking to a no-buy is just a testament of willpower. No. So after she broke her no-buy, she was talking about how she went on a shopping spiral. Again, more indication that there is probably a problem, because that's something that's very common that happens when people restrict themselves without the habits to back that up. And I think a lot of people had a hard time giving her the benefit of the doubt when she broke her no-buy like she did, because she documented it. She documented going shopping. And a lot of people, we'll watch this clip in a second. A lot of people at the time in my comments were equating it to like an alcoholic who was breaking their like their day sober and like documenting drinking at a bar kind of was like an equivalent that people were talking about, and that felt kind of icky to a lot of people. So let's watch this now.
I decided on July 1st that I wasn't going to shop for 30 days. One, I wanted to see if I could do it. I knew it was going to be a challenge for me because I am a shopping account. Halloween decor just came out in most of the stores, and I love Halloween. And most of the people that I follow on Instagram are shopping accounts. So I knew it was going to be challenging, but I also knew that I could do it. It is July 16th, and I decided to go shopping today. I didn't last 30 days, but I don't look at it like that. It's not like I didn't last. It's like I decided after 16 days, holy shit balls, I was shopping so much. I was jumping on every trend. I was wanting every item, that I was just buying so much shit, and it was like I was reckless shopping, and I feel like so many of us do that. And when I really took a step back for 15 days and didn't shop, I was seeing everywhere like all the new stuff and all the stuff that I would have purchased. And yeah, I was like, oh my God, it's cute, but like I can live without it. And one thing that I noticed like even more is if you wait to purchase something after the hype and you still really, really want it, then it means it's meant to be. And then if you're like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't buy that because it's been 2 weeks and I don't even care about it anymore. You know what I mean? Anyways, if you're a shopping account, I challenge you to not shop for 30 days. I didn't make it 30 days. I made it 16. But the experiment, everything just, it was good.
That's the video. And this does not give me recovery vibes at all. At the point of this video, she called herself a shopping account. Like, I'm a shopping account, and she, in my opinion, was taking a break from shopping, which is fine. But that is not recovery. Like, taking a break is not the same as recovery. You may go back. You may decide at that point, oh yeah, I would like to be in recovery. But this to me is not recovery. And she noticed some things that, wow, I was shopping so much. And like, waiting is a great thing because I realized if I want the thing or not. And she was being reckless with her money. However, that like, she gained some knowledge, but then decided to do nothing with it. Like, I learned all these things about shopping while, like, she's telling you this while she's actively shopping. That is what bothers me. And I think what bothers a lot of people is that from clips like this, she is milking the recovery lens. People had a super hard time giving her the benefit of the doubt when she broke her no-buy with a shop with me. It's such a wild thing to do. I don't think, like, people who are genuinely in recovery and care about this kind of thing, I don't think would post this kind of content. And then she posted a collective haul in July of all of the things that she bought. And like, she posted multiple shop with me's after her no-buy was over. I think this channel is worth talking about regardless of the shopping recovery component because there's so much overconsumption that happens here. She is one of the biggest overconsumers on TikTok, and she has so much influence on people because she's so big and she also shops so much. And so that means, like, somebody who is this popular and was used to racking up views means that her content is going to be pushed into the algorithm more. Like, these algorithms, the bigger you are and the better your videos do, the more they reward you. That's why some people grow so big so quickly on YouTube and TikTok, is because it's like a self-reinforcing loop. You do good, they'll push your content out, you do good, and it keeps kind of going up in this upward spiral. So somebody like her has a bigger chance of getting into onto people's radar, and then calling herself a like shopping recovery account was super irresponsible when she's shopping like this. She was actively calling in people who are struggling with their shopping or shopping addiction or want to stop or change their habits. And that was one of my central problems with this account, was using that label to try and call people in. Listen, she doesn't owe us anything about her journey if she was in recovery, if she was in therapy. She doesn't owe us a single word on it. However, when you put in your bio the words shopping recovery in your bio, you have responsibility over your content and the message and everything you put out there. You have responsibility over that no matter what, but you have extra responsibility to the people that you are actively trying to call into your content into your page. If you are not going to talk about recovery at all, whether or not you're comfortable or you're not doing it, doesn't matter. Take it out of her bio. And she listened. I want to applaud her for that. I don't think I was the only one to call her out for that. She took it out. Thank you, Brooke. You're calling people in to her channel and then not giving them the kind of content that one would expect. So if you're not going to do it, you don't want to, you're not comfortable, whatever it is, take it out and remove any kind of expectation of that content. And I think people were also upset that if somebody was like believed they had an addiction, believed they had a problem, would treat that content with care, that I don't know that she did. She treated her no buy like an experiment. Let's see what happened. So I don't fully know that she understood what she was stepping into when she put that in her bio. So she took that out of her bio late last year, and I pinned a comment on that video at some point when I learned that, but things have changed a little bit. So she continued this kind of behavior until recently, to be honest. She was buying more stuff. She was decluttering stuff, but she made some content recently that, in my opinion, feels like things are shifting a bit. She also appears to be open to feedback. And I really got to give it to her for one, taking the caption off of her bio. Like, you could look at it and with a little bit of cynicism, being like people were hating on her for it, but she could have just been obstinate about it. She just could have said, hey, screw you, I'm going to keep it in. The video we're going to watch next is also her discussing her seeing a particular kind of comment and then it finally kind of resonating with her. And when you're getting a lot of negative comments, it is so easy to just ignore them all as hate. But she has listened. I think that's a good thing. So let's watch this video. The title says Confessions of a Shopaholic.
Never considered myself a controlling person until the internet told me that I went shopping to have a sense of control. I would see this comment all the time and it would annoy me because I didn't know what it meant until I realized what it is that I was trying to control. I wasn't trying to control people. I wasn't trying to control my partner. I was shopping all the time because I was trying to control my feelings. This isn't a joke. This is a real realization. I'm sure y'all can relate. I have felt pain, rejection, insecurity, uncertainty as an infant, as a toddler, as a child, and now as an adult. I don't want to feel any of that. Who does? I would go shopping just to feel like I had a grip on something and I didn't even know that that was what I was doing. This feels good. I can control this happiness right in front of me. I knew that if I went shopping, I would feel pleasure and happiness walking out of TJ Maxx with those bags full of cutesy pink things. And I didn't know how to feel that feeling of happiness in any other areas of my life. So I was constantly going back to the one place I knew that I could get that feeling. Once I realized that I'm not a shopaholic, I am not bad with my money. I am doing exactly what my body was trained to do, and that was to protect me, to give me happiness in the ways that I knew how to get happiness guaranteed. Do I actually love buying packs and packs of pens and wallets and purses? No, I love the feeling of happiness that it gives me. I became a shopaholic to create content, and then I uncovered all of these wounds. Now I'm here to tell you guys all about it because maybe you're going through the exact same thing. Maybe I've influenced you to buy too much shit. So now I'm here to influence you to look within, see what it is that you're looking for while you're shopping, because I know you're looking for something, because I was looking for something. But guess what? We can heal from it.
This feels a little bit different from her, in my opinion. This is a great emotional insight, and I hope she keeps digging because there's a lot that have uncovered here. I don't fully get the vibe here that she wants to stop shopping altogether. I also don't think she views herself as a shopping addict, that like things might be a problem, but I don't think, just from her video and the language that I've seen over a few videos, I don't think she sees how she shopped as an addiction. What's great from this video is she's acknowledging the stuff is not about the stuff, and why she shops is coming from a place of hurt or wounds or internal stuff. And she says she's healing, which is so great. I'm so rooting for her to heal, to be honest. Like, I've always wanted her to succeed, and I want anybody who feels like they've had a problem to succeed. You know, last year when we watched these videos, her answers to like her going on a no buy felt kind of surface, like, I'm gonna just do an experiment. When she said that initially her no buy was an experiment, it felt more like for fun, opposed to trying to get to some kind of deeper meaning. We will never know if that's true or not, but it also kind of feel like she was pushed by the internet to view her shopping as a problem, even though she might be like, yeah, it's a little too much, but I don't know if it's a problem, or it's a problem in the money sense, but that's kind of it, or it's a problem in the stuff sense, but that's kind of it. This really feels like somebody who is making breakthroughs that she hasn't before. And also what I think is important about this video that I haven't seen from her yet is acknowledging the potential harm that she has had on other people. Like, I've influenced you to buy so much shit. That to me is like starting to take accountability for how her actions and her content influence or have the capacity to influence other people. She also implies at the end that she wants to share her journey with you, which she didn't do last time. And I think this is something that people who care about changing their behavior want to do. They want accountability. We'll get to that. And they want to share their journey with other people to influence other people in a positive way, which I think is maybe where, as well as some of her starting to at least be vocal about how she may have influenced other people, where that might come from. We're going to now watch another video first. There's a few more we're going to watch, but the first one is her talking about how things kind of started for her. It's very interesting. Let's watch.
I made $500,000 on TikTok because I was sad and depressed, and I went emotionally shopping and I shared it with the world. Let me back it up a little bit. In 2019, I lost everything. I lost my relationship of 6 years, my job, my apartment. I even had to move back in with my parents. And guess what? I got kicked out of my parents' house. I'm in college. That's literally the only thing I had going for me. I was in my last semester. If I didn't fail any classes, I had bad credit. Like, I literally couldn't go and just like live on my own by myself, even though I was like a 26 or 27-year-old adult. So Luis had to ask his mom and dad, who he was also living with at the time, if I can move in there. And that is where my happy ass went. He helped me move all of my stuff in, which wasn't much, from my parents' house. And then I like kept some stuff in my car. And I remember he woke up to go to work and I was so depressed, and he felt so bad for me because I just had like an extreme change in like my life or whatever. And he told me, he was like, what can I do to make you feel better? And I said, coffee and some money to go shopping. Luis, being the sweetheart that he is, he literally went into the kitchen, made me some homemade coffee, and then he left me $20. Might be thinking like, okay, $20 isn't a lot, which it's not, but I shopped where I could afford. I knew that if he left me $20, it would be enough to get like at least 10 things. This was back when the dollar store was only $1, and then I could get like some lashes or something like that at like the beauty store down the street. My depressed ass went shopping that morning, and the dopamine I received from the cute new dollar store shit was enough to keep me going. I stayed in school, I applied to jobs, I successfully graduated later that year and landed a job at Poshmark headquarters. I was living my life, and then I started to see everybody posting about this platform called TikTok. Given the fact that I just graduated from Cal State East Bay with a marketing degree, when I looked at TikTok, I saw it as like an opportunity to become a content creator. I had always wanted to be a content creator. I just knew that if I wanted to blow up or like go viral or whatever, I had to do it right then and there. Started to think in my head for the next couple of weeks, like, what can I post on social media? Like, what can my niche be? One weekend, me and Luis decided to get out of Sacramento and we drove up to Lake Tahoe. And as I was driving up there with him, he was driving, I saw this girl and she posted a video, and it was her holding a Target bag, and she said, here's a haul of everything that I bought with the last $20 in my bank account. And I resonated with that so much because I had been infamously known to spend like my last dollars on shopping. I'm not saying that as a flex, it's just I related to her so much. And when I saw that video, I was like, this is it, Brooklyn. This is what you can post about. That me and Luis are trying to save up to move out. So I didn't have like any of this disposable money to go shopping. But what I did have is $100 to go gambling, because one thing about me is I've always loved gambling. So I won $300 gambling that day. And I told Luis the next day we're going to wake up, we're going to go to Ross here in Tahoe, and I'm going to buy like $100 worth of stuff. And I'm going to do a haul just like that girl on TikTok did, because I totally showed him that TikTok. And he said, whatever you want to do. Like, he's always been super supportive since day one. And that is exactly what I did. I went, I bought some cute shit. I went home, I got in my car, and I said, this is a haul of everything I bought with my earnings from the casino. And I posted that video on TikTok. I woke up and it was at 500,000 views. Oh my gosh, this is it. Shopping is my niche. That is exactly what I did. I literally went shopping every day. I posted a haul every day, and in 30 days I gained 100,000 followers on TikTok. Full moral of the story is post the TikTok. Post what you actually give a shit about.
I kind of can't believe that the moral of the story is post just post. You never know what's going to happen. She fully acknowledges that she was shopping from an emotional place. Like, she called it emotional shopping. She understands that she was shopping for the pleasure. And both of these things can be huge and powerful motivators. And I kind of feel like so many people who develop shopping addictions, one of the things that's like the hardest habit to kick, or one of the things that people find themselves like really struggling with when they're trying to change their habits, is the emotional shopping component, because it becomes like a coping mechanism. Not becomes, like, it is a coping mechanism for so many people. And those are really difficult to change. And she's acknowledging that. But what I also find interesting is that one of the things that this shows me is kind of something that I talk about on the channel from time to time, is that when creators get views, it reinforces specific kinds of behavior and influence. And people watched her and liked her content, which encouraged her to keep going. And I think in some ways be uncritical about the influence she had on other people, and also the impact that this had on herself. I think she overwhelmingly saw this as a positive thing. She also seems to be aware of where her contemporary problems start, but they, I think, go on longer than that, because she said she's infamous for spending the last money in her bank account. And also she had bad credit. To have bad credit in your late 20s is not a good sign. Like, it's a sign potentially of a problem. And so there were a lot of red flags that she was not examining. And I also feel like not really acknowledging in this video either. I share this video for two reasons. One, because we have some more self-awareness that she's showing here, and we're kind of learning more about her journey. But also, number two, I think like we start to see how, like, some of how she's thinking about her shopping, which we'll get more to later. We're getting more insights as to how she thinks. Like, yes, I was an emotional shopper, but also not viewing that really as a problem, or at least describing it as a problem. Not describing the bad credit as a problem. Not describing the, like, using up her last dollar on shopping as a problem. Hi, Editing Shauna here. I was trying really hard to be positive in that video that we just watched. I also feel like it's worth saying that I think she misses the point a little bit. This was ultimately what she gleaned from all this information, all this backstory, and like what she wants you to know about it is to post the TikTok and not, these are my origins. This is my shopping origin story, or where things kind of got bad for me, or where things started from. We may be able to glean that as viewers, but that is not how she's viewing it. So this can mean a lot of things. And there is more discussion to come after the next clip, but also at the end. I just feel like this is worth saying now. Back to the video. Let's watch another video.
Yesterday, I went to Home Goods, not because I emotionally shopped, but because I actually needed things. So let me show you everything that I purchased while I put everything away, so that way you know that I needed everything. First up, we got some chocolate-covered gummy bears. Were these a necessity? Yes, they were, because my drawer next to my bed, ignore the bed not being made, but I always keep candy in here, and I'm out of candy, so that needed to go in
there. Next thing I got is this over the door hook. I have an over the door hook on my room and I love it. But Gianna's room does not have one. I really wanted to put one because there is this coat hanger. It used to be mine that I don't want that to be there anymore. There's something wrong with her door because her door won't close with this on. Go try it on her other door. Okay, it works on this door. Next thing that I got are these green containers for Gianna's playroom. It was 5 of them for only $10, and I love that they are mint green. She is 3.5, so she has a ton of these little type of toys. So I was thinking of organizing them in these bins and then putting the bins on the shelf. You guys can see that like the shelf is not organized. I mean, it's kind of organized, but it's not like aesthetically pleasing.
I have mixed opinions about this video, but I would say overall this verges on positive for me. Because in my opinion, this video is her attempt at accountability. Look, I did go shopping, but let me show you exactly what I got so you can see that this was not something impulsive or emotional. It also, in my opinion, shows her connecting the dots. The first video that we watched in this new area of hers was her more talking about control, and yes, she did talk about emotional shopping in there, but the more, I think, the lengthier observation about emotional shopping came in the video we just watched. So it's her acknowledging, I'm an emotional shopper in one video, and then also demonstrating she knows that information, she knows that it's still true about herself, and she is not shopping because of it now. Again, more accountability, which is new for her, in my opinion. Yes, she did haul things last year when she went on her no-buy, but it wasn't an accountability reason. It was like a let me show you what I got reason. And people can still have the same result, which is showing a haul, but the reasons are different. I think the gut reaction for some people might be like, why did you go to Home Goods? Like, why did you go shopping at all? And I want to push back on that a little bit. I think overall what she bought is good and a very different scenario than what she would buy from stores like this in the past. This is improvement for her. Like 100% is improvement. Not only because she's looking for accountability, but also in the kinds of stuff that she bought. And also acknowledging I went there looking for specific things. I didn't go just emotionally shopping or like wandering around looking for things to buy. It's not realistic for people to expect somebody who has problematic shopping behaviors to change overnight. I think she learned from the past that maybe a no-buy is not for her. It can be super triggering. No-buys are not for everybody. Really don't think that they're the answer for a lot of people. And a slow change over time is probably going to be what resonates with a lot of people because no-buys are quitting cold turkey. I think that this is also her attempting to navigate her own content. She wants to have a positive impact on people, at least that's what I believe. And this is part of her figuring out, how do I exist on TikTok? She has a lot to figure out, I think. Like, does she want to be a shopping account? And if she does, is that beneficial for her? What kinds of content can she make? This is the part of the video where we talk about, do I really think she's going to change? What does that mean? And kind of like the responsibility over her content. And one of the things I was missing from her content before was responsibility for how she influences other people. Every person who posts something publicly on the internet is responsible for how they influence other people, positive or negative. And she does seem to want to have more of a positive influence, but it's difficult to fully see what she qualifies as a positive influence and how that's going to change, because she does understand that she has influenced people to shop and overconsume, but she also is trying to navigate, I think, how to make content online. I want her to change because I want her to heal, as she has said that she needs to heal. I was leaning into I think this is going to be leading to more positive change because I feel like I'm seeing things in her that I haven't seen before. But then she posts videos like this and pulls out the recovering shopaholic, again, putting it right front and center. Has she learned? Like, does she actually believe that she is in recovery? I haven't heard her verbalize that yet, but she's using that as a title. And I'm wondering, is this the same thing that we're seeing before? As somebody who is being a little too cavalier with certain kinds of words? Or is this her like opening a chapter and like really trying to be different? What's unique about her specific channel is that she was a shopping account. And I think people are going to be hard on her if she doesn't change dramatically and be open about these changes. I think that she has lost a lot of trust from her audience, and you can see that her views have declined. And I think a lot of people are not going to be open to watching her unless she does something dramatic. The truth is that changing your habits is slow, and it happens slowly over time. At the beginning of my journey, as an example, I could not take apart needs and wants. I was calling things needs so I could buy them when I was otherwise trying to change my shopping habits. There were ways that I could justify it in my little brain. But if she does that, which she is doing, and if she's buying things that she probably shouldn't, people, I think, are going to judge her like, oh, she's still shopping. Because in this video, at least the first part, she's still shopping. And what bothers me about this new video is not that she's still shopping, is that she's still sharing it. And that has the capacity to influence other people, especially in this specific video where she's calling herself a recovering shopping addict, yet going to TJ Maxx to browse. That's like it feels a little bit like the no buy breaking video that we shared previously, where if somebody was serious about their shopping addiction, they have a shopping addiction, they probably wouldn't make content like that, calling in shopping addicts and then going to browse for fun at TJ Maxx, even if you don't buy much of what you're seeing. This could be her attempt at trying to figure out what kind of content she's going to make now. I feel kind of heavy watching this because a lot of people at the beginning of their journeys, if she is in recovery, there's a lot that needs to be learned, and it's somebody who like has the desire to change without the skills and the habits and all of that like information and knowledge and tools to do the thing that they desire for themselves, which could be what's happening here. But she's also sharing it and may still have the desire to be a shopping account. So I don't know where this is going to go. And she is still like making ads, influencing people. Can you chalk this up to somebody who's learning and is still trying to figure out her content? Here's kind of where I stand. I don't think that she should have posted that video calling herself a recovering shopaholic because of all the things I said earlier in this video. I do feel like her content is making a shift, that she is trying to figure out where she stands. But I don't have quite the patience for her to figure it out at her subscribers' expense, because it still doesn't fully feel like she acknowledges that she has a problem and that she understands the seriousness of such a problem. And then a couple of videos later saying recovering shopaholic, I think there's some personal confusion happening there, which is overall like that's allowed to happen, but she's still posting content while I feel like she's trying to figure things out. And I don't know that that's fair to her subscribers. And also this could be like, I think some people as well might feel like the girl who cried wolf, like, oh, this is your second attempt at calling yourself a shopping addict, and this is your second attempt at like saying that things are different. But that's also kind of normal behavior for people who have shopping problems. Like a lot of people try and change their habits multiple times. A lot of smokers and alcoholics, they like fall off the wagon, if you will, and like have relapses as part of the journey. But the difference is, again, alcoholic, like it would be different if an alcoholic or a smoker was making content like this. I really want to give her the benefit of the doubt. Like I really, really do. And normally on this channel, I don't want to give people the benefit of the doubt. Or normally on this channel, I don't give content creators the benefit of the doubt because of how they influence people. But if somebody's trying to change, and I believe in earnest they're trying to change, I want to give that person the benefit of the doubt. I'm just not sure if this is earnest. I don't know. And like, she doesn't owe us an explanation. And some of my judgment is coming from the shopping accounts that I've seen who have, or the accounts, sorry, that I've seen of people who are trying to change their habits. What's happening here doesn't really look like that. It looks like small steps, which is normal for so many people. But I think what's maybe scaring her is that her livelihood hinges on her TikTok. She stops taking ads and she stops making certain kinds of content that performs well. Her livelihood is going to be affected. And I think that is perhaps some of what's happening here. Although, who knows? I'm still going to root for her to change and heal if this is what she feels like she wants for herself. And I'm going to hope for the best. One thing I think that makes this world so great is that people can and do change. I'm going to choose to be hopeful about this. I was going to qualify that, but I feel like you've already heard my qualifications. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again around here soon for a new video. Bye.